Hey there, it's Kat, and this is Brews and Reviews. So now for the second part of my May wrap-up, and that is the Bookemon Badgeathon wrap-up. So basically, Bookemon Badgeathon was a readathon that was based on Pokemon, and it was created by Megan over at Tome Infinity, and it was so good. It was a team-based readathon, and I had a lot of fun taking part. So if you did watch my previous video about my mental health-a-thon wrap-up, a lot of the books that I read for that were also counted for Bookemon Badgeathon because there were a lot of different prompts, and I actually managed to complete all the prompts and all of the badge books for this, and yeah, I'm really proud of myself for that because some of them were like non-fiction, so it was quite nice to actually have completed those. Because there's a lot I wouldn't normally read. So first I'm going to go through the books that are in my mental health-a-thon wrap-up so you can head on over there if you actually want to know more about these books. So first on that list is the Amour Badge, which is romantic or contemporary, and I read Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. Then for the Chiller Badge, which was a crime, thriller or mystery, I read Let Me Lie by Claire McIntosh. For the Fantastical Badge, which is a fantasy book, I read Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. For the Diversity Badge, which was written by a person of colour or had a person of colour as the main character, I read The Wicked King by Kay Ancrum. For the Rainbow Badge, which is the LGBTQIA+ rep, I read Highly Logical Behaviour by John Corey Whaley. And for the Know It All Badge, which is non-fiction, I read Hardcore Self-Help Fuck Anxiety, which was a non-fiction self-help book that I did not enjoy. So that's probably one of the only books that I didn't enjoy that I read this month, so I feel like I did okay. So if you do catch me looking down at all, it is because all of these books are listed in my bullet journal and my memory is like a sieve, so I'm looking. For the Exemplary Badge, which was a classic, I read Macbeth by William Shakespeare. I have read Macbeth before and it is one of my favourite Shakespeares, and basically I wanted to reread it because, well, it's about time I reread it, and also my brother's doing it for his GCSE and I kind of wanted to help him with that if I could, so I thought I'd best, you know, refresh my brain on it. I really enjoyed it as much as I did the first time. I always forget how creepy it is and how much I love, like, just what happens in this book. I think I did a lot of things in high school that were related to Macbeth, so it has a bit of a nostalgia for me as well. I've also seen it at the Globe and I fucking loved it. It was so good. So yeah, anyone want to chat Macbeth with me? I love Macbeth. For the Archival Badge, which was a historical fiction, I definitely struggled on what to pick for this. I didn't really feel in the mood for a historical fiction book, so I kind of went with my best sort of cheatsy way of doing that, and that was me reading Tales from King Arthur, which is edited by Andrew Lang. No idea who wrote it. I really don't know. It felt a little bit like a really young retelling of, like, I want to say medieval King Arthur, which I've just found out is not for me. I much prefer like a grittier King Arthur retelling. I don't so much like random historically medieval King Arthur. It just didn't interest me. I think I rated this 2 stars because I was just bored, to be honest, and I've never been bored by King Arthur. This is coming from a girl who used to write King Arthur fanfiction, like, I'll admit it. It didn't gel with me, so I sadly did not enjoy this one like I hoped I would. For the Scientific Badge, we had to read a science fiction book, and I read Night of the Living Trekkies by Anderson and Stoll, and I actually really enjoyed this one. It was like predictable and cheesy, but it was fun. And you know what? I like fun, weird zombie movies with nerddom. This book was basically about a Star Trek convention and there's a zombie outbreak. So you end up with the security guard of the hotel where the convention is at and a random woman who is dressed up as Princess Leia, basically at the wrong convention. She was there for a specific reason. And his sister and his friends just trying to stay out. It's got like red shirts, it's got a guy dressed up as a Klingon who makes Klingon weapons, and I just really enjoyed it. It was really funny, so yeah, this one was fun, definitely predictable, a little bit cheesy, a bit cliched, but I still enjoyed it. For the Pictorial Badge, you had to read a graphic novel, a manga, or a comic, and I chose to read One Punch Man Volume 3 by Yusuke Murata. And as usual, I really enjoyed One Punch Man. I am really wanting to read even more of these because they're so much fun and I just really like them. Obviously I can't say too much as it is volume 3, but it is again still following where I know it to go in the TV show, and I just really like the art and I think it's dead funny, so if you're after a cool manga, definitely check this one out. For the prose badge, you have to read poetry or a play, and I chose to read Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. Yes, I know, 2 Shakespeares in a month and like no classics throughout this whole year apart from like a few, and 2 in 1 month, so clearly something overtook me this month. This has been on my to be read before the end of the year list, and I've been kind of wanting to read it for ages because it's just been sat on my shelf. I enjoyed it. It was okay. It's not my favourite Shakespeare. I feel like everybody knows what's going to happen in Julius Caesar, and for me that kind of ruined it a little bit, and I was like, dude, Caesar, don't make that mistake. You've been told, you've been warned. Well, look what happened. I know that's the main sort of trigger in a lot of Shakespeare plays, is that someone does something dumb and then they pay for it, particularly in tragedies. And I don't know, something missed the mark a tiny bit, and I don't know why. Maybe it was just because it was a bunch of old men talking to each other and going, I think we should kill Caesar. You want to kill Caesar? Yeah, let's kill Caesar. Now we've killed Caesar, what do we do? We'll have a war. We'll have a war with this guy. Yeah, sure, we'll kill him. It was just a bit random, so it wasn't my favourite, but I feel like it would be more interesting to watch than it would be to read, and obviously that is the whole point of a play, so, you know, definitely should actually watch this, I think. Okay, I'm kind of going to talk about these next 2 together because they're part of the same series. So for the creative badge, it is a book about art and music, and I kind of cheated on this one because I read Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and one of the main characters in this draws a lot in her journal, so you get a lot of different images. I know it's not technically an art book, but it has art in it, and I thought, you know, it counts a bit, So then for the Jester badge, which is humour or comedy, I read Obsidio, again by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I picked this for the humour badge because both Illuminate and Gemina both made me really laugh, and I don't know, there's something about the writing style that just amuses me. So I was like, yeah, this one will definitely make me laugh. And there were like moments where I thought, yeah, that's quite funny. I quite like the banter that's going on. But this one was definitely darker, and I think I should have switched these around because it was definitely darker. But anyway, I am so glad that I finally finished this trilogy. And I know there's another one coming out, Memento, but I don't really know anything about it, so nobody spoiled me on that. I absolutely adore this series. I love how it ended, and I love Aiden. I know that's terrible, but like, I love Aiden. I think he's such a great character, and just need more of Aiden in my life. Next up we have the Memory Badge, which is a biography or a memoir, and for that one I chose to read Dressed to Kill by Eddie Izzard. This is a autobiography / biography of Eddie Izzard, the comedian, and it's really weird when you read this book. You can hear it in his voice and you're like, oh, it's like he's talking to you, which I always find really weird because I don't really read that many memoirs, and to be able to so clearly hear how someone's train of thought goes around written down is really strange for me. I really enjoyed it. It's just pretty much random ramblings, but tells you a bit more about him that I didn't necessarily know, and I really enjoyed that, so I'm definitely glad I finally picked this one up. For the Panic Badge, the genre was horror, and kind of fucked up on this one, right? Because I thought, yeah, this is horror, right? I picked up The Walking Dead Volume 1 because I thought, you know, zombies, like blood, and you know, all that things. And then on like the first page, it literally says, so if anything scares you, great, but this is not a horror book. Excuse you? Don't tell me what I think this book is. It's a horror book for the purposes of this challenge. Okay? Honestly, I don't think you can not say that zombies are a horror book though, because zombies are a horror thing. If you hear squeaking, by the way, it's this like rickety old table that I'm sat on, and one day I'm just gonna fall flat on my arse and you're all gonna see, because I will not cut that out of a video, I promise you. So this was the first volume of The Walking Dead, and you know, I think I was a little bit like, I don't really know what to expect from this, and I liked it, and I definitely want to continue with it because I like the art style and I like how the story is told. I am interested to see how it differs from the television show, which I definitely gave up watching around season 6. Okay, so now we're on to the battle books. Those were all of the badges that I did complete and I did successfully manage to get, so that'll definitely hold me in good stead for another round of Bookemon Badgeathon, which I'm very much looking forward to. So the battle books were just for points, and they were basically against the other teams and defending your own team, and I did actually also manage to read all of those. So the Team Valor battle book was Illuminate, which I definitely reread. I didn't have to. I could have chosen to read different books and then just put like Gemina as Illuminate, but you know what? I wanted the full Aiden experience, and that is what I got. I just don't have the physical copy with me because my friend still has it, so. So the Team Mystic battle book was The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman, and I've heard a lot of people on BookTube talking about this, saying it's amazing, it's like Stranger Things meets the Raven Boys, and it was okay. Like, I think I gave it a solid 3 stars. I did not love it, like a lot of people are loving it. But I think for me, the atmosphere was there, and that was the main takeaway from this. There were a lot of really good ideas. I'd definitely be open to reading a second book. I actually feel like this book set up a way better book than what we got there. To be honest, I couldn't even tell you any of the main characters' names. How terrible is that? Like, they didn't stick in my mind, which is really bad because there were so many things that this book did right. There's disability rep, there's LGBT rep, I mean everybody's bi, apparently, in this book. There is like magic and just really cool monstery type things, and it's just such a shame that it didn't quite hit the mark for me and it kind of fell flat a little bit. I am really disappointed in that, but I'm definitely looking forward to like a sequel because I definitely think that will be a lot better. I'd say it's worth checking out if you really like the atmosphere of Stranger Things / like the Raven Boys, but otherwise I wouldn't rush off to get it. And the Team Instinct battle book was Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. Now this was the one that I was like, I'll leave this to last, and you know what, I'll pick it up if I've got time, because you know it's not a badge and you know all that thing. Why was I putting it off? This book was so good. Now I would say that this book reminded me of Mistborn in the sense that it's got this really creative magic system that I've not really heard of anything quite like it before. Basically, it's kind of a heist book with a magic system that revolves on scribing things. Now, when you scribe something, you scribe an object, and you can make that object change its fundamental belief of what it can be. I could scribe this moose to think that it was 20 times heavier than it actually is, so when I tried to lift it I wouldn't be able to. It would be really great for if I wanted to stop someone from picking up something underneath the moose. Silly example really, but like the book does it so well and there are so many interesting characters and I just really enjoyed it. The only problem that I have with it is that I don't have the next one. It's not out yet. Why isn't it out yet? So now that we've gone through all of the books that I read for the badges and all of the books that I read for the battle books, there's one more book that I read this month and that counted for the Stardust portion of Bookemon Badgeathon. So that book was Check Please by Ngozi Ukazu. I am really sorry if I've just butchered that name. I am terrible. Like, I can't even say my own name, so I'm sorry. This is a super cute webcomic turned graphic novel, and it's about ice hockey and this cute little cinnamon roll, and he's just the cutest. All of the characters in here have their own personalities, they're really cute. The main character is gay and he loves making pie, but he's also amazing at hockey, so it's really awesome. I just really enjoyed it, and it's separated into these cute little things and semesters as if he's filming a blog, so he'll occasionally be talking directly to the camera, and it's just cute. It's just cute. Like, I borrowed this from my friend Jo, and there's a moment in this book where I just had to send her a picture and it was followed by me just saying, yay! Because it was so cute. But I'm not going to tell you what that is because you'll have to read it and find out. But it was adorable, and I mean, if you're doing anything for Pride Month this month, you should probably check this one out because it's so cute. So there you have it. Those are all the books that I have read in May, coupled with the ones from Mental Health-a-thon. And yeah, I really had a lot of fun during Bookemon Badgeathon. I always think that the team building aspect of readathons makes it so much more fun because you just sort of work together and you've got somewhere to aim. and I just really enjoyed that. So if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!